This playthrough is rated T for teen.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. In the last episode, Atton and Kreia continued through Goto's yacht and was able to take out the rest of the mines, the droids, turned off the power supply, and was able to release the exile into our custody with almost no pomp or circumstance. Just kind of joined the team and woo! And then we messed with the power distributor and caused the ship to go uncloaked, and everyone basically bombarded Goto's yacht because they're like, oh, let's take out the big man. And, well, he's out of the picture, at least in this sector. Although he doesn't show much hatred towards us because he still wants us to save the Republic, as he sends a droid called Go2 to, well, help us out and through our journey. He says he wants to give us orders, but yeah, that ain't gonna be happening. We're good guys. We don't follow orders that easily. Man, we finally ran into Master. I thought this was supposed to be Master Kavar, but then they talk about how Master Kavar walked around. I think maybe he's talking to the third person or something like that. But anyway, this Master Jedi, we're just gonna call him Kavar until otherwise noted. And well, he's gonna tell us what he knows, and hopefully this will give us maybe more information about where the rest of the Jedi are or the Masters and whatnot, and we'll tackle the rest of the little quests here on. Actually, I think Nar Shaddaa, I only have like one or two things I really need to get finished, but other than that, perhaps we'll be getting onto a new planet now. Anyway, where are all the Jedi?
They have scattered, but there is purpose in their movements. It is both to hunt and draw out our enemies. Somehow, we, are being targeted through the Force, and when Jedi gather, we are vulnerable. So we have chosen places where it is difficult to sense others through the Force, whether on planets dense with life, or touched by war. In such places, we may conceal ourselves, gather information, without presenting ourselves as targets. It was part of Kavar's plan.
So I guess Kavar must be the Jedi that told him to do all this, but I could swear this Jedi's name was Kavar. Huh. I must have mixed up my Jedi Masters. Maybe it was like Jedi something something. I should know his name, but I've forgotten it. Just like popped up off the top of my head. Okay, so, but yeah, basically what he's telling us is we've heard this before. I think when we went to Dantooine, so a lot of this information might be similar. That they did this just to kind of space themselves out and figure out how they've been being attacked through the Force. So probably have to do with those Sith that have been trying to kill us. So, plan, or any other questions? I'll wish to know what now. Okay, plan.
Yes, he felt if our enemy cannot detect us, then perhaps they would believe themselves victorious and show themselves. And we knew that the war would be lost if we continued to act as we had. I do not know where they wander now. There are few of us, though. Too few. And I have not heard from them in some time.
Well, don't you miss hanging out with your Jedi buddies, getting a drink and all that? Yeah, okay, Master Varuk was his name. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot his name, too. You know, and then Atros, yeah, Atros is still alive as well. So that's 3 out of, we've discovered 3 out of 5, or is it 5, or is it 6? I think it was 5. So we've got 2 more to go, right? Sorry, that's what happens when you do these episodes, so only a couple per week because you forget little details after a while. I came out of Rook on Dantooine.
Rook still lives? I had not felt his presence for some time.
And obviously, if you have any of the other Jedi Masters, you can tell them too. But anyway, I had other questions.
What I can tell you, I will.
What happened to them?
It is a long story, but there is no harm in you knowing. And someone should know. Only a handful of us remained after the Jedi Civil War, barely 100 in number. Then, even that 100 began to vanish, in places where the Force seemed blind. The only pattern we determined is that when Jedi gathered, they were seen no more. At the last Jedi Conclave on the Miraluka world of KOTOR, the entire planet was wiped out, an entire race destroyed. Because the Jedi chose to gather there. It was only then that we realized we were facing something far more powerful than we knew how to fight.
Yeah, we've been told this before, and obviously Visas Mar tells us, but the thing is, Visas Mar could easily come after doing this planet as well, so yeah, unfortunately we're going to hear a lot of repeat on what we've already been aware of, but it's still interesting to hear their wording in different perspective from a different character, so why did you hide?
We could not allow the fact that when we gathered, we placed everything around us at risk. A Jedi's life is sacrifice, but we cannot allow our presence or actions to endanger others. And we cannot fight an enemy that will not reveal itself. But any Jedi, anyone who is strong in the Force, who attempted to track down such a threat, vanished without a trace.
Man, it seems like the Old Republic era sucked for Jedi just as much as the during the prequel trilogy after the Emperor won. So I guess only truly major ages are when the Jedi era was completely destroyed. Although I think the KOTOR, the Knights of the Old Republic villains, could give the Emperor from the original Star Wars trilogy a run for their money. If you read up on them and hear about what their abilities are, you're like, ooh, Lord. Anyway, but that makes no sense.
It does, but you must step back to see it. Whatever this threat was, it was targeting us and everything around us. Yet it was somehow weak enough that it was afraid to confront us openly. If it believed us defeated, then perhaps it would finally show itself. It was a faint hope, but it was the best we had. It was Kavar's plan. He was always the greatest tactician among us, and had seen war more than the rest of us.
Still, that's a bit weird. They says that it's too weak to pop out in the open, but with what abilities they can do. I guess it just, maybe the light side has some pretty powerful abilities as well that they never really talk about, but other questions.
Well.
I need to know why you cast me out of the order, why you on Narshada, needed my trial. We'll just go down the line. It's going to be a talky episode anyway. I need to know why you cast me out of the order.
We told you it was because you followed Revan to war, but you ask because you are not certain of that answer. Nor were we. The day we cast you out, that is the moment I decided to leave the order, because I do not believe we truly faced the reasons you were exiled. And if we do not examine such truths, then we are already lost. I think it was because we were afraid. It is a difficult thing to live one's life with the Force. To see a vision of what it would be like to be severed from it, it is more frightening than you know.
So when you are
Very well.
When you're so dependent on something, or you know something's there, and then to have it disappear can kind of cause a person to go weird or crazy. It's like phantom limb syndrome when you lose a hand, arm, leg, whatever, that you had it forever, and then, well, except unless you're one of those people that sadly were born without them, or they had to be chopped off so soon that you don't even realize you had in the first place. But for those who, like war vets is a good example of having phantom limb syndrome, that you're so used to it and then it's gone. There's just something, like, you can get used to it, but there's still always that, like, was it phantom pain? Nice Metal Gear reference. But yeah, there is a phantom pain that just kind of, well, I don't know pain, but a phantom lingering there that just, I don't know, if you kind of let your mind linger, it'll just kind of come around again. But anyway, why are you on Narshada?
I had thought perhaps that here upon the Smuggler's Moon, I might find some evidence of the threat we faced. The bounties on Jedi and their disappearance. I did not believe the two were connected, but there was a chance. And the strong currents of life here on Nar Shaddaa make perceiving a Force user difficult. I could use it to cloak my movements and watch without being discovered.
Well, I guess it worked. Although I found you eventually, so
Very well.
maybe the bad guys didn't try hard enough. Why'd you cut me off from the Force?
Is that what you think? We did no such thing. But it is a technique that has been used as punishment in the past, yes. It is a rare sentence, and to my knowledge it has only been done once, at a moment where a Jedi discipline has failed. What caused your loss, I fear, was different. I am not certain I understand it. We did not understand it fully then, and only recently do I feel we may have become enlightened. The other masters may have more knowledge of this, but I do not, and I do not know if they even live. Does it matter? It seems your power has returned. Perhaps the loss was not a loss at all.
Or it's just the game's way of making you weak, so you wouldn't start off as a level 20 badass at the very beginning, but a level 1 character that would get it up, but eventually to that, roleplay, a hero's journey and all that. Or, plot, whatever,
Well.
But, let's see, coming out from the Force. I forgot if, because they didn't actually, because Revan, all they did on him was they just They just sealed his memories, right? They didn't actually seal off his force powers. Although he eventually gets the force because of his tie to Bastila. Maybe that's who they're mentioning as was Revan. Even though, like I said, their ability was just... No, actually, I think I know the answer to that, but we'll discuss that another time. At the end of my trial... Okay, at the end of my trial, you and the other master said something about had happened to me. What was it?
Ah, so the records of your trial were found. Good. Sometimes I think this galaxy would be a better place if there were less Jedi secrets. But I have no answer for you, as much as I would like to give one. We vowed never to speak of it. And although I would not keep promises to Jedi, I keep promises I make to others. And KOTOR was a friend. If we were gathered as one, then the promise might be revoked. Until then, I can say nothing.
Well, we are trying to get the Jedi Masters... Are we trying to get the Jedi Masters together? We should. To do just that.
Very well.
Well, anyway. Let's see. Do you know anything about force bonds and how to end them?
Yes, such bonds are a connection that can be formed at moments of crisis, or in the slow understanding that grows between master and apprentice. It is most common between two beings who are sensitive to the Force. It allows the transmission of feelings, of influence. It was something you were gifted with, as I recall, before your fall. You formed such attachments easier than most, even to those who could feel the Force only faintly. Even Vrook could not ignore it, which is saying something.
Ah, stubborn son of a... Oh. Is there any way to remove it? I've developed a bond with another one that's lethal to us both. Is there any way to remove such bond?
I do not know. A bond between two living beings is not something easily broken. It is not a choice. It is like breaking a feeling, like turning away from the Force. To break a bond, your feelings would have to change, or one of you would have to die. But even then, the bond wouldn't go away. It would simply be empty, a wound. One of you would have to die, but even then, the bond wouldn't go away. It would simply be empty, a wound.
Okay, you just repeated that twice for some reason, but I'll forgive you for now because that voice is just so sexy. Is there any more? Oh, okay, no, it just does that option. Okay, we'll just skip that.
Somehow,
Skip
so
his
we have
dialogue.
chosen in such places.
Okay, he's told us everything that we need to know, so... Well, that's all I wish to know. What happens now?
Now I must take up the role I was ready to cast aside. This threat has finally revealed itself, and we Jedi will need to stand together. I did not speak fully of what I have felt. Staying on Nar Shaddaa, it is an exile of sorts, one that I have chosen. I, too, lost a Padawan on Malachor, not to the battle, but to the alternative, to the teachings that Revan brought from the unknown regions. And I was not the only Jedi Master to watch a student turn on them.
Man, you guys must have really sucked as masters if all your students just decided to go, hey, dark side, why not? Or, although Revan didn't start out as a dark Jedi because he just came back and he did all this stuff, and all the young teenagers are like, oh, he's cool, you know, and then and eventually became Sith-like after a time. So, but yeah, it's interesting when he talks about the Force bonds, about how it being a feeling. It's kind of weird how in most stories I get kind of annoyed when the whole idea of feelings pop up, and not because I'm like, oh, feelings suck. Like, sometimes I feel like sometimes it's used as like a weak story plot to explain certain things, but because of my understanding of Star Wars, it kind of makes sense, or at least the way they explain it anyway. But I feel so the bond, if someone dies, is like empty. What, like when someone like you love dies and there's an empty feeling in your heart, that type of thing. Oh, I got deep there for a second. Alright, let's forget about that and play some Star Wars. Alright, so you blame them to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. There's no betrayal. Your students, your disciplines were taught to protect innocents even when you would not. Ooh, let's be confrontational to them. Or we could just be like, just question them. Your students, your disciples were taught to protect innocents even when you would not.
No, they were not to blame, but many of the Order did so. It was a difficult time, a time of strong emotion. Perhaps the Council, perhaps the Order itself, had grown arrogant in their teachings. It is easy to cast blame, but it is perhaps time the Order accepted responsibility for their teachings and their arrogance and come to recognize that perhaps we are flawed. Not once did I hear one of the Council claim responsibility for Revan, for Exar Kun, for Ulik, for Malak, or for you. Yet, you were the only one who came back from the wars to face our judgment. And rather than attempting to understand why you did what you did, we punished you instead. Our one chance to see where we had gone wrong, and we cast it aside. And now, that decision has come back to us and may carry with it our destruction. Perhaps there is something wrong in us, in our teachings, and though I tried, I could not cause that thought to leave me, so I left the Council. And I was not the only one. That is why many scattered, and why many in the Republic do not trust us, and why we do not trust ourselves. Make no mistake, I am no Jedi. This is the end, you see. After this, there will be nothing. And I think it will be for the best. Do you wish to do battle now? I have nothing more to say.
Well, one thing is you're lying, because there's the Old Republic RPG MMO game, and then there's the movies, which take place way after this, although now they're called Legends, so they don't count. That's the one thing I never understood about when Disney bought, like, Star Wars, why they just decided to cut every single story out of, like, canon. I mean, Old Republic, the whole point of it was so far away from the canon that you could do it and do whatever and it wouldn't affect anything. But I don't see why we couldn't just add it, like, hey, it's there. I mean, it's 4,000 years, so you could use some ideas from the stories, or maybe introduce some characters, which they try to do in the Clone Wars cartoon. I think, there's a Dark Jedi that appears in the Unshown series, which apparently at the time of the recording, they're actually going to finish the Clone Wars series and give it kind of a finale, which is kind of neat. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But no, one of the dark Sith that I mentioned before the Old Republic, the one who created the two Sith type of thing, makes an appearance, who is voiced by Mark Hamill, interesting enough. But anyway, sorry. But yeah, I like this Jedi Master. At least he thinks about, like, the Jedi and how they can change, and how, like, he's willing to accept that they have issues. Although he seems to be so pessimistic that he's ready to just get killed, and get this all done with, because he thinks the Jedi should be done with and all this other stuff. So at least he understands a bit more, better than Varuk did. But anyway, Revan redeemed himself. So that must give you some hope. I urge you to reconsider for all the fans of the Jedi. There have been I believe that option isn't there if you chose Revan to be still go to the dark side at the end of the KOTOR 1 when you talked to Atten in the beginning of the game. I am sick. Let us end this. I am sick of your ramblings. No, letting you live seems more punishment, and it will serve as a lesson to other Jedi. Perhaps weaken them with your doubts. That is super. That's like manipulative dark right there. But Revan redeemed himself. Certainly that must give you some hope.
It provides no comfort at all, for reasons in which I still must keep secret. Suffice to say, redemption was not Revan's choice, and I have never believed those of the Council who attempt to console themselves otherwise for the crime they committed.
Is there anything you can teach me?
But we have spoken enough, I think, and words, I think, dull us both. Let us speak through the Force, through sparring. This forum you may have already seen much of during the Mandalorian Wars, but it is fitting to speak using elements of the past, I think. Ataru is the name given to the movements of this forum. Though it is aggressive, it is focused, and its best use is in combat against a single opponent. This form is somewhat less useful in deflecting blaster shots. Use it when dealing with opponents in close combat, not against a battalion firing heavy blasters at you.
Well, thanks. Probably could have used that when we were fighting Visas Mara the first time.
Indeed, it has certainly not dulled your instincts, nor the speed at which you learn. I shall go to Dantooine, to the ruins of the Enclave. If you gather the others, I will meet you there. And thank you, Exile. You're returning. It is good that you are back among us.
Well, we finally got the next Jedi. Alright, time to go to another planet. And none of our companions are here. Great. Alright. Let's set the. Let's put some companions back in our group, shall we? Ah, and GoTo's now joined. Oh God. Yeah, that kind of makes sense though. Actually, let's just put Mir in the group. Why not? Oh yeah, we'll need to level them. Well, at least Mir up anyway. All right, let's go talk to Volga and get our. Actually, I think there's a couple of missions I haven't done because there was the Sith Bith scientist that I still need to get those noises from, right? Let's see. Okay, so we need. We'll see if I have enough time to do that, because we still need to get to Volga. I think his name's Volga. I keep saying Volga, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, we need to get those sensors for that Bith scientist, and then we need to talk to Volga about the gas, because we helped him with, he said it was Pylon 3. Was Pylon 3 over here? No, this is okay. Pylon. This is Pylon 1. Wait, isn't his contact that robot there? Then, if that's the case. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, we got basically the majority of the plot today, so now we can finally leave Nar Shaddaa. But I'll try to, if I don't get all the quests done now, I'll try to get the rest of them after. Although there's a few quests, like I said, that previously that either got glitched or something, because some of them haven't activated, so, or didn't finish properly what they were supposed to be. Like trying to get the pilot for that family. The pilot's right next to them, but it wouldn't let me, like, what the? Uh-oh. Looks like that guy's thing got killed. This must be the contact you're supposed to meet. The body has been stripped of the package you were to buy for the Bith scientist. Uh-oh. Nuts. Oh God. Cleaning droids. Well, too bad. Too bad one of us has destroyed droid. You'll die eventually. Force lightning for droids. Well, that's annoying. Well, to go talk to the Bith now and toxin emitter and enemy library, warfare upgrade, all for droids. Which now that we have Go2, he can. Does he have anything on him? Nah, it doesn't look like it. Go2 can also use the upgrades as well. Okay, so we need to talk to that Bith, let him know about that, and also we might as well talk to Volga while we're here and get or Voga, sorry. Yeah, too bad I missed out on doing his trying to steal from his thing, because I did that wrong. Oh well. I strongly considered re-uploading an old save, and maybe I'll do that sometime later. We're not going to do that now, but of me getting into this his treasure section or whatever. Anyway, Voga, give me the. You returned, but I do not see Goto chained behind you. Can it be that you've not had success yet? You're not as funny as you think. No, I do not have Goto here, but rest assured, he will trouble you no longer. Indeed, I have heard as such. I wouldn't have thought you could have so easily disposed of him. Really, I am so impressed by a human. I believe that means we have a matter of business to discuss. My affairs already begun their work. I will open trade with Telosians. However, I believe they will be reluctant to listen to my offer, should it come from me. Here, these credits should cover your expenses and a fee for services rendered. I do not expect you to do what I ask. If you do not, you'll find that you'll have little time to enjoy these credits. Now leave. I have grown so fond of you. I haven't grown so fond of you to keep you around. All right, so now, if I understand correctly, okay, we already got that. As far as I know, now we can go back to the Telos to the station and tell them about the gas, if I remember correctly. So, okay, that's done, and we need to talk to that Bith again about his contact being killed. So, good thing we have force speech, man. I don't know why anyone would not choose this ability, you know. Okay, if you're force based and you're not melee based, because this speed is more helpful for. Whoa, the heck? Now what? Uh-oh. Bith holding data pad. Bith arm holding data pad. Uh-oh, that's not good. Found signal. Droid attacked me. It's deleting my data. We'll try to get away. And yeah, he didn't get away. Huh. Well then, I guess that solves that mission. He got away, huh? Where'd he go? Okay, let's see if we can check that out really quick. Okay, let's see. What is the... actually, that may be it. Let's see. Okay, experiment delivery bonus mission. You return to find that the BIS scientist has disappeared. His experiments are still running as if he left or was taken suddenly. His assistant droid also appears to be missing. And it says it's completed, so that means we're done. Interesting. I wonder if that means we can run into the droid again or something, because it says, yeah, it says it's officially completed. Well, I'll figure that out later, but for now, let's go back to our ship, and I think we might have enough time to get we have enough time to get to the next plan, hopefully, or at least get to our ship and talk to our companions about what happened. But yeah, off screen, I'll figure out if there's any other missions I want to take care of, and maybe the beginning of the next episode I'll have started trying to work on those or something like that. I'll admit I'm not being as efficient in this version in KOTOR 2 as I was in KOTOR 1. In KOTOR 1, I only missed like one mission by complete accident, and that's because I finished a planet before talking to the person. I completely forgot about it because I hit that no turning back point on the planet because I had to finish it. Otherwise, I had to go back like multiple saves, which I have a save spot for almost every major episode and function. So, well, not later on in the story. I only have the saves as a part to what I've been played so far. But so I could have gone back to do that. But the weird thing is, I'm like I want to play these games to show off a lot of stuff, but I'm weirdly lazy too in some regards, where I'll just like not. Like I'll not finish certain. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is the way we want to go. So, all right, back to the ship, and yeah, Mira's. That's got to be a glitch from my emulation because she is not supposed to be there. Like it's been stuck there like she's not supposed to be there. Period. Like, but for some reason her model pops up there. So I don't know. I mean, that could be from the game originally, but I don't remember when I first played this game. I don't remember those types of glitches. So it's got to be from me using the Xbox 360 on an Xbox game. That's got to be the excuse. So you're playing kind of a not because the game had issues. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as glitchy as I've been making it out to be. Because I mean, heck, if I left in all the random noise glitches that this game has, I'd be paid quite a pretty penny because. Like this game, like every time I go into the menu, like to like level up and stuff like that, like loud beeping noises occur. Like it goes king gah while it's doing that. I don't get why it does that, and it's done that in certain areas of the game, like certain dungeons. I had to like almost completely take out all the music because like all the noise that like randomly would just poke out every once in a while.
Of course. It would be my pleasure.
Meditation envy?
Why don't you go sit on a rocket?
Calm down. What is your problem?
I don't want to talk about it.
Alright, you know, Atten, sometimes it's no wonder you can't figure yourself out the way you lie to yourself all the time. I've hunted a lot of people in my line of work, but I never met someone who wants to get lost more than you do. I've got a pretty good idea why, but not the whole picture. I will, though. My advice? Come clean before I find out. And stop watching her. She's got enough problems. Jedi.
Jedi. Betrayer. All thoughts of me will slide from your vision, from your mind, like water. You know who I am, but you will be unable to voice it, to remember it. What does a Jedi see? Only what I allow them to see.
Well, that was interesting. By the way, Atton and Mira weren't supposed to be part of that previous cutscene there. It's because like I said, the glitchiness of the game is that their models were stuck there. So imagine that scene without them, and then the disciple was chasing after Kreia. But that was kind of creepy. You know, Kreia was just like running around, and the disciple almost checked her out, but then found her, but she erased him from her mind, or him knowing her from his mind. So that was a bit weird. And then the droid dealing with Go-To, and then apparently Atton has some jealousy for the disciple. I don't know why. I was spending as much time with both of them, but although the disciple does have that ooh so sexy voice, maybe Atton is jealous. But we won't find that out for maybe a bit. So, in the next episode of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, I'll have made sure if there's any extra quests I can try to finish on Nar Shaddaa. But we'll tackle the next planet. Which planet shall it be? Will we finally get enough parts for HK? Oh, and we actually need to talk to all of our companions too. So, but yeah, find out who I talked to and where we go next in the next episode of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. And may the Force be with you.